beast! Ah!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Not Bees, the Nicolas Cage filmography podcast. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Megs.
And this week we watched 2020's Jiu Jitsu, starring Nicolas Cage and a whole bunch of martial artists. And it's not good, folks. Let's just be clear right up front. So we open in space to see an enormous comet passing by Earth, and then immediately we're somewhere in the jungles of Burma where some dude in fatigues and a sleeveless trench is running from throwing stars that are being hurled by some kind of alien employing the use of predator cloaking technology. The guy reaches a dead-end cliff, and gets hit by one of the stars, and he falls off the cliff. And he hits his head on a rock underwater. Pulled from the water at night by a fisherman and Nicolas Cage. He's taken to the fisherman's house where his wife very badly sutures his lacerations at his shoulders and then dumps him at an American army base. The fisherman's wife tries to tell them that a comet is passing, there's a hole in a temple, and a warrior of death comes through, but their interpreter, Tex, played by the amazing Eddie Steeples, just sucks, and he cannot get any of this right. From here, our protagonist is interrogated poorly, but he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember his name or his mission or how he was hurt, but they think he's a plutonium smuggler. When one of the army people goes to grab him, a big fight breaks out where we learn Amnesia Dude is really good at jujitsu, and then the lady interrogator drugs him and gives him truth serum and tries to question him again, but all they get out of that is that he's here to do a job and something moves fast. The lady interrogator takes him for a walk and tells him that this is a classified op, needed to make sure that we need to make sure that you're on our side. He asks against what, but we just cut to different scene where a new person has arrived and is attacking the base with jujitsu by his lonesome. He's so good he can dodge bullets. He makes his way through the base to Amnesia Dude, and they take off together and fight their way out. There's a really interesting point of view sequence that's supposed to be from Amnesia Dude's perspective, but it's like he literally is just carrying around a camera and putting it down from time to time, and it's much longer than it has any right to be. New Guy and Amnesia Dude get away. They have no names. Nobody in this movie has names. It's just terrible. New Guy and Amnesia Dude get away, and then they meet up with another group of people, and apparently Amnesia Dude is called Jake. But now they don't trust him because he was captured, and he asks who they are because he still has amnesia. So now he has to explain to another group of people that he has no memory, but they're being tracked by the alien that ripped off the predator cloaking. They survive a mild attack, but then the army shows up, and we watch like 6 people defeat them with jujitsu and throwing knives when the army has literal guns, but Jake gets retaken by the army, and they interrogate him again, and this is all just repetitive, and it has no fucking point. He says he doesn't know the fighters, but he thinks he was with them, and he warns them to leave the area, and the lady interrogator tells one of her fellow soldiers they should leave, she's above him anyway, and that Jake is coming with them. So now we're back in the jungle with the army scouting around, and this device that they've been using to test radiation levels is going crazy, but it turns out it's coming from Dollar Store Predator. As it begins to attack the soldiers with its space throwing stars. There's a firefight where we get more POV shots, like GoPros are attached to the actor's waist while a significant number of soldiers is taken out. The group retreats except for one guy who waits for Dollar Store Predator to approach, and they do a little one-on-one where the army dude empties a full magazine from his rifle at point-blank range, and Dollar Store Predator is down for about 10 seconds before coming back and killing army dude with a super hot hand. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Just trust us. Jake and the lady interrogator flee. Jake falls into a hole that's actually a house right as the lady interrogator takes a space throwing star to the chest. She's dead. We'll never see her again. As Jake gets up, we see Nick Cage sitting in this house smoking. Jake doesn't recognize him. They fight. Cage tells him he's Jake's future if he doesn't get his shit together. Oh, and he also makes paper hats out of newspapers and says people in the Valley of the Temples, which is where they are in Burma, will sometimes give him food. Nick Cage tells Jake the spaceman wanted Jake to be there. The spaceman gave us Jiu Jitsu and is apparently named Brax. So you got that? We've got Jake, we've got Brax, we've got Nick Cage.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now the 6 people that know jujitsu show up in the crazy man's home and try to get Jake to go with them, clearly at odds with Cage's character. Jake leaves with them. They take him to a temple, and Crazy Cage has joined them on the journey. The temple is the same one where the spaceman comes from. Cage explains that every 6 years, Spaceman comes to fight the best jujitsu fighters. If he doesn't get the fight, he'll stay and kill everything. They all head out to their rooms in the temple to get ready. One of the ladies in the group takes Jake a new shirt. She clearly knows him in the biblical sense. One of the guys, Harrigan, gives him a sword and says he hopes he remembers how to use it. Then they all set out again, including Cage, to find and battle Brax. On the way, Cage explains the 6-year tradition. Brax fights 9 people, but they only have 8, including Jake and Cage, because someone died. Turns out Jake was supposed to be in charge of the plan, and going to find Brax was his plan, but he doesn't remember it, and Harrigan is getting testy about that. It turns out Brax is hunting them. The group splits up to find Brax. One of the dudes from his group sends the rest away so he can try to get the drop on Brax, and they fight one-on-one, but the fighter doesn't realize he's been cut a bunch by Brax's sword. This is also stupid. They fight is all you need to know. 2 more of the fighters show up. One of them dies. He has a decent skirmish with the second one, but he also appears to kill him, and then he goes and kills the first guy that's bleeding in the dirt. So now we're down 3 of our 8 guys. Meanwhile, Jake is all by himself in the jungle and gets hit in the face and taken somewhere with another guy. The army guy that unloaded the full magazine into the alien earlier is alive, but badly injured, and they talk about what the other knows about what's going on. Nobody in this movie knows what's going on, and they wish they would stop asking each other. The army guy is the only one that knows the mission is about the spaceman. He's been tracking it for 24 years. He tells Jake it'll take more than one person at a time. The alien can heal, but if you get him down, he's down for a few seconds and you can probably kill him. And then he sends Jake off again. Jake leaves the cave he's in and somehow immediately runs into Nick Cage in a clearing, roasting something over a fire, and tells Jake that when the alien arrived, Jake was there with the other fighters, and he dismissed all but Jake and one other fighter. And Jake watched him just straight murder the first dude, and then Jake runs away. So Brax chased him, and that's how he ended up in the water with injuries. Jake is concerned about everyone calling him a coward, which, he is.
He is.
He literally ran away. Cage tells him that he also met Brax 6 years ago and begged for his life, and Brax spared him because he thought that Nick Cage was crazy. Then there's no honor in killing crazy, but cowards get killed after he toys with them. One of the other fighters shows up from the first fight. He's not dead, but his shoulder is hurt. And then 3 others show up. Now there's only 6 of them, but Nick Cage goes off in search of Brax. The 2 ladies of the group try to trap him against a rock wall of a temple with a wall of wooden stakes. Brax defeats them. One of the girls dies. Harrigan rushes them, gets flipped off. Brax is going after Jake, who's hiding with the last fighter by a different temple. Brax and the other fighter fight. The fighter runs off to join Jake. They both attack. The other right is defeated but alive, and Jake leads Brax away. Meanwhile, Nick Cage finds a sword at the temple. Jake goes and grabs the lady fighter that didn't die, and apparently the sleeveless trench coat they wear have cloaking abilities, but since Brax was tracking them, he knows where they are and jumps to slice them with his sword, but Nick Cage appears out of nowhere and stabs him through the gut. Brax is pretty unfazed by this. He and Nick Cage square off while the other remaining fighters sit and watch like ineffective dum-dums. Nick Cage gets stabbed a bunch, but is still on his feet. Brax disarms him and tries to find where Jake and the lady fighter are, but they're still cloaked, and then he slits Nick Cage's throat, and Nick Cage dies. This is the second movie now we've seen where Nick Cage dies.
Yep.
Jake and Lady Fighter go back to the temple. Lady Fighter tells Jake a sad story about his dad dying, and then says they need to leave, but she's hurt. He puts her on a table and they make out because that's how you treat wounds here. Then Tex from the army shows up with the fisherman and his wife talking about how all of his people are dead and we have a Martian on Earth. He thought the fisher people could help, plus he has 2 whole grenades. The wife stitches Lady Fighter up, I'm assuming also poorly given the state of her care of Jake at the beginning. Jake notices the arrows that Lady Fighter uses. They explode on impact. Jake says he has an idea. Lady Fighter says, let's go, and we never hear his idea because Brax shows up and starts sending throwing stars everywhere. The wife shoots him with a shotgun. She's a surprisingly good shot while the others run. Jake runs off alone to another temple to face Brax. It's right where the portal is. Jake and Brax fight again. Brax is kicking Jake's ass. Then Jake almost passes out. And then he hears in his head again what Lady Fighter said about his father and wails on Brax. Turns out Brax can't see through flames or like heat because he literally is the Predator. The Predator could see heat, and so like they would cover themselves in mud to dampen their heat signature. This guy can't see through heat.
He can just see that it's there.
Yeah, he can just see the flames. So he and Jake dance around one of the temple's braziers for a second, and then I guess Brax decided Jake ran away again because he casually turns and begins to walk towards the portal, but Jake whistles and then attacks, seeing a knife stuck in a table, grabs it just as the portal is reopening. Jake grabs the knife, he stabs a big hole in Brax's chest, and from nowhere comes the lady fighter. She shoots an exploding arrow into the same wound. Then fucking Tex comes around another column and raises both grenades at Jake's, who at this point has gotten on Brax's shoulders. He grabs the grenades, shoves them both into the wound as it's healing, and then chest kicks Brax into the portal as it starts to close, and both grenades detonate and Brax is toast. The fisherman and his wife come in. The wife says that this was his destiny to end a 2,000-year-old epoch. Bad shoulder fighter finally makes it back to the temple and gives a nod. Tex says something funny. Who wants a drink? Jake and Lady Fighter walk away. Tex tells the portal he'll see it in 6 years. The merciful end.
Ugh.
This movie left a bad taste in my mouth.
This film is such a Predator ripoff.
It's also so bad. It's so much of Predator ripoff.
And it also can't decide if it wants to rip off comic books or video games.
Right. So there's that whole section where dude comes to free Jake from the army, and we get this first person point of view fight, but it's not. It's just the camera moving.
It's very geriatric looking.
It's like you're in a video game, but you're not kicking or punching or shooting. You're just viewing.
Yeah.
And then the camera gets set down so that Jake can fight. It's so bad. It's so bad. And it goes on for like 5 minutes. And then every time they transition from scene to scene, it's like panels in a comic book. Yeah.
And it's really fucking annoying. Also, why does Brax look like an ape that got left in space and then mutated?
The one thing I will give this movie is that I think the creature design was pretty good.
It is pretty good, but it's very reminiscent of like the angry apes from Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
It's a lot like that. And like also, his name is Brax, which is just very similar to Brack from Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yep.
It's the Brack Show, starring me. I'm Brack. Sorry. This movie was really, really bad. I did like, though, that the one thing that like made me laugh every time it happened was sometimes when they were having like really intense fighting scenes and there would be really high kicks, there would be a thwippy sound. Every time I heard it, I had to stop because I was laughing so hard. This movie is not good.
This movie has all of the appearances of being made for TV.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it definitely, if they didn't have Oscar winner Nick Cage in it, this is something that would air on the Sci-Fi Channel, like, at 2 a.m.
Yeah, this was bad. And, like, also, I don't know like it's a completely different director. It's a completely different scene, plot, everything. But for some reason, it reminded me of this movie. What was the name of that movie that we went to go see at that theater for MST3K a couple of years ago? The Christmas Dragon or some shit? Christmas Dragon?
Dragon. Yeah.
I don't know, but like the film quality just reminded me of that. And I was like, what? Like, I could not stop myself from drawing that parallel.
The Christmas Dragon with Eric Christmas.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Listen, this movie was...
It's so good. This movie could have been on MST3K.
Absolutely, it could have. Absolutely, it could have. This... Oh my God. This movie was just insanely bad. I mean, it is at least enough that there were points that it was so ridiculous that I had to laugh about it. So there was a sort of unintentional sense of levity. It definitely was not manufactured because that movie was not funny at all.
I love how, so Fisherman's wife takes Jake to the army. The army interrogates him. He escapes.
Keep doing it.
He escapes. The army gets him back. They interrogate him some more. What more are you gonna learn? Do you think his amnesia has gone away in the time since he escaped you? It doesn't make any sense. And you're just repeating scenes.
Yeah.
You're repeating scenes for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. I do think that the fighting was good. The fighting sequences were, I mean, the actors they had in them, and they're not people that we know. They're not people that we've ever, heard of before, but they are, some of them are stunt people, some of them are just martial artists.
Yeah.
And their ability to make those moves are very fluid. So I'll give it that. The fight sequences were enjoyable, especially with the thwippy thwip.
But there's too many of them.
There's too many of them. And also redonkulous, right? Because, like, I could see, like, at the beginning, right, when the one guy goes to get him from the army, I could see if he attacked the base by himself at night, doing, like, a stealthy stealth move thing, sure. But it was broad daylight. You've got guys walking around in fatigues with guns. So, like, it's not just guns that they have fucking tools with them.
Right.
And the means to murder you with very easily, and yet not a single shot landed on anyone. And also, once the first time when he escapes and they make it to this like giant field, like why are the fighters just like crouched down in the growth? Like,
because
hiding.
they got their cloaking technology trench coats on.
I mean, like, they're hiding from Jake, like, just crouched down, waiting for him to show up. What are they going to do? Spring up? Surprise, motherfucker! You remember us? Like, no. It's not good. So in the movie, Nick Cage's name is Wile, which I'm assuming is probably a really stupid nod to, like, Wile E. Coyote or whatever. It's not really worth mentioning any of their names because they don't say any of their names. The only reason we know half of their names is because they're in the subtitles. So I mean, I don't even think that Harrigan's name is actually said. I just know it because
Jake's name is said. Jake's name is said.
It's like
He's
the only one that's said. The only reason that I bring up Harrigan is because he's the only, I guess, like, face actor that I know is played by Frank Grillo, who we've seen in a bunch of shit, including like Marvel stuff. So like, we know him. We know him from somewhere. We know Tex because I'm pretty sure everyone has seen My Name is Earl at this point, and if you haven't, you should. But like, that's really all of the known actors that we had in this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. This movie is not good. It's not good. It's so not good. It's beyond the scope of not good to why was this made? Like, this must have been a passion project of someone's, and somehow they scraped together enough money with using the POV shots that we got to edit enough of it to be a film. Yeah. But like, it's disjointed. The artists that they hired to do like the comic book panels when they were transitioning through between scenes, they hired a good artist.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know anything about this comet. We don't know why it happens every 6 years. We don't know the history of why this spaceman comes, just that somehow, tangentially, he's attached to the passing of this comet. I don't, it's super strange. It's very strange. This movie is not good.
I hope they paid Nick Cage well.
I hope they did too. I hope they paid everyone well because they deserved it.
I bet they blew their budget on Nick Cage.
Probably. He was probably the biggest name that they could get because, I mean, I feel like he'll do anything within reason. I feel like that's what happened here.
So what would we give this movie, Megan?
Like, it's not good. It's like a D.
You wouldn't give it an F?
Mm.
I'd give it an F.
Yeah, I mean, I get, like, I think I was just trying to be kind. Because there's a lot of, like, technical, like, things that happen, like the fight scenes and stuff like that I think are well choreographed, but...
Yeah.
I can't... It's too much of a ripoff. Like, it's too much dollar store Predator.
It is.
For me.
It is.
So I'd be okay to downgrade it to an F. I'd be okay. I don't think that the fighting really...
I think that you've made a good case, and I would be okay bumping it up to a D.
Okay, then give it a D. I mean, I don't... Like, the fighting doesn't save it. The fighting doesn't give it anything that you know, want to see. There's too much, like, random ex machina shit that happens at the end. Like, where did Tex come from with the Fisher people? Because, for all intents and purposes, he could not understand them. They were strangers, had never met. And then, out of nowhere, literally any of the other army guys. Is Tex the only one?
His Burmese suddenly gets really good.
Yeah, really fucking good.
He can understand the fisherman's wife much better but at the end of the movie than he could at the scene in the beginning of the film.
He can. But we should also probably, preface that with saying that this all takes place in the space of, like, 36 hours.
Yeah, that's true. So,
I mean, I guess he's also, like...
His Duolingo was just up there, baby.
It was popping that day. Popping off.
Oh, what would we give the caginess of this?
I was actually disappointed.
Me too.
In Nick Cage, in his performance in this. I think a lot of it is just because he is older, so the physicality isn't there for him to do the stunts. And whoever they hired was only very vaguely similar in body shape. And the editing was not seamless.
No.
So I mean, I was rather disappointed in his performance. Maybe he wasn't really given the space to work with the character enough. Maybe there's a lot of his shit that got cut. I don't know, but I'm gonna say C.
C is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We do have a temple desecrated. That counts as a church.
I was gonna say! And also it was several. It was several different temples, but we'll only count it as one.
Yeah. So that's it, folks. Jiu Jitsu. Not good.
Not good.
Unless you're really into martial arts films, you should probably skip this one.
Yeah, and also, like, not worth the 27% on Rotten Tomatoes that it has. Like, really...
Oh, yeah.
Really not worth that. And, like, the audience score is also higher. It's at 64%. Like, it's a lot higher, and I don't... Listen, y'all, I don't know what you were watching, but it wasn't this film. I promise you that. It was not this movie. Because it's not 64% worth good.
It's not.
It's just not.
It's just not. Well, another week, another bad movie.
It happens.
That's it from us, folks. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, leave a review. It really helps us to get the word out to other people. You can throw us a few bucks if you want at patreon.com/notthebees. We're on Instagram at notthebeespod, where we post a couple stills every week from the movie that we're watching. And that's it for us for this week. I've been Elizabeth.
And I've been Megs.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Yep.